Hello, everyone, and welcome to the magical world of fantasy and adventure. Today we will delve into a tale from the Whispering Woods, where the fates of a tiny bulbul and a mystical plant intertwined to save an entire kingdom. Are you ready to embark on this thrilling journey? Then let's dive right in. Chapter 1. The Mysterious Beginning. Deep within the heart of a hidden valley nestled between towering mountains, there existed a place known only to a few. The air was thick with mystery, and the secrets of the ancients whispered through the leaves of the ancient trees that surrounded this secluded sanctuary. Amidst this enigma stood a peculiar plant unlike any other. It was called the green ivory plant, a mystical flora whose presence seemed to defy the boundaries between the natural and supernatural. The most intriguing aspect of this plant was its faint glow, a soft luminescence that emanated from its stem during the darkest hours of the night. It was as if the plant itself possessed an otherworldly luminescence, casting eerie shadows around it and creating an atmosphere of magic and wonder. This spectacle drew curious onlookers, but the plant remained shrouded in mystery, its origins and powers unknown. One day, as the sun began its descent and the long shadows stretched across the valley, a small bulbul bird named Zircon alighted on a nearby branch. His feathers shimmered with an array of mesmerizing shades of blue, each hue telling tales of distant lands he had traversed. His voice, a thing of unmatched beauty, could charm the hearts of even the most stoic creatures. Yet Zircon was not merely a bird of grace and song. He possessed a spirit of adventure, an unquenchable thirst for exploration that drove him to seek out the hidden wonders of the world. He had traveled far and wide, but none had captivated him like the mysterious glowing plant in this secluded valley. As he rested under the shade of the plant, a sudden movement caught his attention. It was the leaf of the very plant he had been admiring. It stirred slightly, as though responding to his gaze. Intrigued and perhaps a bit wary, Zircon watched closely. Then, to his astonishment, he heard a voice so faint yet so filled with urgency that it seemed to echo the very essence of the forest itself. "Help me," it whispered, the sound like the rustling of leaves in a gentle breeze. "Please, I implore you, lend me your aid." Zircon, taken aback by what he had just experienced, remained frozen in place. Could it be possible that the plant itself was reaching out to him, beseeching him for assistance? Or was he merely the plaything of an overactive imagination? The bird's mind raced, trying to comprehend this extraordinary occurrence. Chapter 2. The Hidden Secret. Overcoming his initial shock, Zircon, the intrepid bulbul, decided to heed the plant's plea for help. Gathering his courage, he approached the plant, and with a voice that trembled slightly, he inquired, "Who are you? How is it that you speak to me?" The green ivory plant, sensing his kind intentions, replied in a voice as fragile as the tinkling of a stream, "I am the guardian of this valley. For countless millennia, I have safeguarded its tranquility and balance, protecting it from the encroaching darkness that seeks to consume all light and life." She paused, her ethereal glow dimming slightly as she shared her tale. "But now a terrible evil has awakened once more, threatening to engulf this realm in eternal night. I alone cannot withstand its power, and so I turn to you, little bulbul, hoping that you can aid me in this dire hour." The mere mention of such immense responsibility sent shivers down Zircon's spine. To think that he, a humble bird, was being entrusted with the fate of an entire realm was both humbling and terrifying. But as he looked into the pleading depths of the plant's luminous glow, he knew he could not turn away. And with that, the skies above them darkened ominously, casting long, ominous shadows upon the valley floor. The wind picked up, swirling around them in a frenzy, as if mirroring the turmoil in their hearts. The temperature plummeted, sending a shiver down Zircon's spine. The plant's luminescence flickered wildly, casting grotesque shapes upon the surrounding trees. Just as Zircon began to question if he could truly face this impending darkness, the plant continued, her voice trembling with urgency. "You must seek out the 3 feathers of sunlight hidden in distant corners of the realm. Only these feathers hold the power to banish the encroaching darkness and restore balance to our world. The first feather lies within the Cave of Winds, a place where the very air moans and howls like a wounded beast. The second is atop the Mountain of Forgetfulness, where mists shroud the peak, and the memory of all who climb it slowly fades into oblivion. And the final feather can be found at the bottom of the Lake of Mirrors, a body of water so still and deep that it reflects not only the sky above, but also the darkest depths of one's soul." With these cryptic directions, the green ivory plant concluded her tale, leaving Zircon to ponder the perilous quest that lay ahead. But the urgency of the situation left no room for hesitation. The bulbul knew that the fate of the world hung in the balance, and he had to act swiftly. Taking a deep breath, he prepared himself for the arduous journey that lay ahead. Chapter 3. The Bulbul and the Quest for Light. With newfound determination, Zircon set off on his perilous quest to gather the 3 feathers of sunlight. Each step he took echoed the weight of the world on his small shoulders. But with each rustle of leaves and chirp of crickets, his resolve only grew stronger. The bulbul's journey led him first to the Cave of Winds, a place where the very air moaned and howled like a wounded beast. As he braved the turbulent winds that threatened to crush him against the cave walls, Zircon sang. His melody cut through the chaos, anchoring him to his purpose and allowing him to navigate the treacherous currents. Within the cave's echoing depths, he finally spotted it, the first feather of sunlight, shimmering amidst the darkness. With a heart lighter than air, he snatched the feather and tucked it safely under his wing. Next, Zircon's path led him to the Mountain of Forgetfulness, a peak so shrouded in mist that its summit seemed to touch the heavens. As he climbed higher, a strange feeling of detachment washed over him, a sensation that his past, his identity, was slipping through his grasp like grains of sand. Yet Zircon pressed on, spurred by the memory of the green ivory plant's hopeful glow and the urgency of his mission. High atop the mountain, almost lost to the swirling mists, he found the second feather of sunlight. Clutching it tightly, Zircon resisted the mountain's enchanting embrace and began his descent, carrying with him the precious prize. His final challenge lay at the bottom of the Lake of Mirrors, a place where the water's stillness mirrored not only the sky above, but also the depths of one's soul. As Zircon gazed into the lake's placid surface, he saw not the reflection of a brave bulbul, but a haunting vision of his past, the loss of his family, the pain of separation, and the haunting specter of loneliness. For a moment, he was overwhelmed, nearly succumbing to the despair that threatened to engulf him. But then he remembered the unwavering hope in the green ivory plant's luminescence, the trust in her voice, and the potential for renewal that lay ahead. With renewed vigor, Zircon broke through the surface of the lake, claiming the final feather of sunlight. Chapter 4. The Final Battle. With all 3 feathers of sunlight secured, Zircon returned to the green ivory plant, his heart pounding with anticipation. As he placed the feathers into her core, a surge of energy coursed through her being. The plant's luminescence intensified, bathing the valley in an emerald glow. Her roots plunged deep into the earth, anchoring her as she shot skyward, transforming into a towering tree of emerald crystal. At that moment, the black shadow emerged from its slumber, its presence a palpable darkness that threatened to snuff out the light. Its eyes blazed with malevolent fire, and its voice boomed with thunderous menace. The plant stood firm, drawing upon the power of the 3 feathers to unleash the light of life, a radiant force that pulsed from her core, dispelling the shadows that clung to the valley. In response, the black shadow lunged, its dark tendrils lashing out to smother the nascent light. Yet the plant's roots, now as tough as adamantine, held fast, anchoring her in place as she continued to emit the light of life, her branches reaching toward the heavens as if in supplication. Then, as if emerging from a dream, Zircon found himself lifted into the air, carried aloft by an unseen force. Hovering above the valley, he raised his voice and sang, a melody so pure and resonant that it seemed to call forth the spirits of all birds that had ever graced the skies. From distant lands and forgotten realms, birds of every feather, every hue and song, answered his call and descended upon the valley. Together, they encircled the battling plant and the shadow, their united voices weaving a tapestry of sound that echoed the very essence of life. As the battle raged on, Zircon's song grew in intensity, each note striking at the core of the shadow's being. The shadow writhed and recoiled, its form flickering like a dying ember. With each harmonious chord, the light grew stronger, pushing back the encroaching darkness and banishing the shadow's influence from the valley. The climax arrived when Zircon, soaring high above the fray, poured his entire being into a single, magnificent crescendo. The shadow, weakened and wreathed in fading embers, unleashed a final desperate surge, only to collapse inward upon itself, dissolving into dust and dissipating into nothingness. Final chapter. A new beginning. As the last vestiges of the black shadow dissipated, a profound silence descended upon the valley, broken only by the gentle rustling of leaves and the soft murmur of the rejuvenated streams. The birds, their song now a symphony of triumph, circled overhead, their joyful melodies echoing Zircon's own jubilant heart. Looking down, they saw the green ivory plant, now resplendent and radiant, her emerald branches reaching towards the sky, leaves shimmering with renewed life. Her roots, once delicate tendrils, had become sturdy anchors, burrowing deep into the revitalized earth, and from her core, a soft, ethereal glow emanated, bathing the valley in a comforting, healing light. From that day forward, the green ivory plant became a beacon of wisdom and resilience for all the creatures of the whispering woods. Her voice no longer a faint whisper, but a clear, resonant chime that carried on the wind, eternally grateful to Zircon, the little bulbul who had saved them all. And so the tale of Zircon, the hero bulbul, and the green ivory plant, the eternal guardian, became a legend, whispered from generation to generation, reminding all who listened that even the smallest of beings can achieve the greatest of feats when driven by courage and compassion. And so ends our enchanting tale of bravery, hope, and the indomitable spirit of a tiny bulbul who dared to dream big. If you enjoyed this whimsical adventure, don't forget to show your support for more captivating stories. Until next time, keep soaring high like Zircon, the brave bulbul, and always remember to listen to the whispers of the woods, for they may just lead you to your own hidden treasures.